Hi, this is Tracy here, and I have a quick question for you. Are you trying to get rid of that stubborn belly fat and you just can't, no matter how much you exercise or what kind of food you eat, it's still there? Well, it could be that there's something going on with our hormones. Have been doing some research into how our hormones are keeping us fat, and I actually did a video before on 4 hormones that are keeping us fat. And if you want to go check that out, I left a link in the description. I want to focus on one hormone in particular for this video because I thought it was pretty interesting. It's got a very high impact on our bodies if it's not in balance, and it works with a lot of the other hormones in our body. So this hormone is estrogen. And as a woman, I've might be getting a little low on estrogen because I'm at that age in my life where, my body's changing, my hormone levels are changing, and I have been doing a little bit of research in that because I'm in that boat too. It doesn't matter what I try to do, I cannot lose this weight. So, what I've learned about estrogen, some of it is, what I've known previously from high school biology, and that is that estrogen is the primary female sex hormone, is responsible for the development and regulation of our reproductive system and secondary sex characteristics. So it is a growth hormone and it regulates food intake, body weight, glucose metabolism, and insulin sensitivity. So it works with other hormones to help control all these different things as well. Now, men also produce estrogen, but in way smaller amounts. So estrogen levels vary with age, and they kick in more when we're young, of course, to when we hit puberty, and it triggers all those secondary sex characteristics that I mentioned, as well as gets our reproductive system ready for, being able to have babies and stuff like that. Now, as we age, our estrogen levels drop, and that can lead to a lot of issues in our health, because when the estrogen ratio is out of balance with all the other hormones, then it can lead to a lot of different symptoms like the weight gain. It can also lead to mood swings, fatigue, anxiety, your heavy periods, and that could indicate something else going on. And it can also result in autoimmune disease. So we not only have estrogen in our bodies naturally, there's also foods that we eat that will also mimic estrogen in our body and lead to all these other kinds of issues as well. So I'm going to focus on 3 foods that we should avoid in our diet to help rebalance our hormone levels. So the first one is soy. And soy is a xenoestrogen. So what that means is it's just when it gets into our body, it mimics estrogen, and then our body will deal with it and leads to all these other kinds of things happening. Now, soy is a primary crop in North America, but it has been genetically modified and it's processed so that it can be used in all different kinds of things. So whether you drink soy milk or you use a soy protein powder, also soy is found in all other, bottled salad dressings, sauces, soups, all kinds of stuff that we buy at the grocery store. So you'll want to check your labels, and if you see soybean oil in there, you might want to look for an alternative or make it from scratch if you can. And also, this is important for men too, men and boys. If you are feeding your little boys soy because you're a vegetarian, or maybe your son is lactose intolerant, or you just don't want to give them milk from cows, you might want to look at another alternative, because soy, like I said, it triggers secondary sex characteristics, or I mean estrogen triggers secondary sex characteristics. So if there's a lot of soy in your son's system, he's going to start developing, getting little boobs and maybe some other things that aren't aren't going to be helpful for him, as well as the increased weight gain and maybe all the other symptoms that I shared as well. And men as well, if you're using soy protein powder, you may want to look at something else because a lot of men are developing these secondary sex characteristics, the man boobs and all that kinds of stuff. So you might want to back off on the soy and look for alternatives. So sugar is another thing, another xenoestrogen, again, and we eat a lot of processed sugar in the stuff that we eat, especially the prepackaged foods. It's also in grain foods like breads and muffins and cookies and all that kind of stuff. You want to avoid those. If you need to eat bread, you might want to go to sprouted bread instead. The third food that you want to avoid is conventional milk and dairy that you buy in the grocery store. They want to avoid this because a lot of farmers give their cattle growth hormones and other chemicals. So these get passed into the food system. They're in the meat that we buy in the grocery store, and there could be growth hormone in the milk. And doctors are seeing, young girls going into puberty at very young ages these days, and it's due to, in part, to high consumption of milk, dairy milk, and meat. So if you're wanting to avoid the meat and you're on a budget, then you want to go buy organic meat. If that's the one place you want to invest your money, invest in your health and get away from the meat in the grocery store and buy organic. So those are the top three foods that you need to avoid if you're wanting to get your estrogen levels back in balance. Another thing that you can do is switch to milk thistle and dandelion, which also will help to detox your body of estrogen. And this tea that I'm drinking has a combination of milk thistle and dandelion root, and it tastes delicious and it's caffeine free, so I can enjoy it anytime. Delicious. So something else that you want to include is in more cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, kale, all that good stuff. Now, if you would like a more comprehensive list of food to avoid and food that you can include, would you consider joining my Skinny Mama Facebook group? I would be happy to send you this list when you request to join my group. And what I'm doing with this is I'm just putting it together as a community for us to come into and get encouragement and education, tips, tricks, and strategies on how to live healthier lifestyles, take care of ourselves, because I know as busy parents, we're always running around trying to get our kids from one activity to another activity, and we don't always take care of ourselves the best that we can. And if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of our families, right? So we need to put some priority on our own health, whether that's our physical health, our emotional health, or our spiritual health. So I would be so pleased if you want to join me in my group. I'll put a link in the description. So when you click on the link to go to Facebook, you'll just be asked a couple questions. And when you answer those questions, I will happily send you this list of foods. It's this ultimate checklist that will show you all the foods that you need to avoid and what you can include. And you're going to be surprised on the food that you can actually include. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. Come and join me in my Skinny Mama group. If you like this video, please feel free to share it. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.